Well, alright everybody, welcome back to another edition here of SmackDown. How are y'all doing? My name is Dominic, of course, behind the commentary table, and I am excited to get through what should be an action-packed episode of the Blue Brand. Okay, to kick us off, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be having Finn Balor versus Ricochet. We'll get to that in a few moments, however, as I want to announce what will be happening on this groundbreaking episode of the Blue Brand, as Edge will be making his return to action here on SmackDown for the first time in over a decade against none other than Heath Slater. A bit of an odd opponent, I will admit, but you know what? What Edge wants, Edge gets. But that's not all, as the SmackDown Women's title will be on the line, with Candice LeRae looking to challenge Alexa Bliss for the oh-so-prestigious championship. However, that's not all, of course, as our massive main event matchup will feature two of the best here on the Blue Brand. We have got Aleister Black, our WWE Champion, versus a rising star of the division with Andrade Cien Almas. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you can tell, it's gonna be a night full of hot action. And as I just mentioned, we are kicking it off with Finn Balor versus Ricochet. Two of the bright stars of this generation looking to wage war within the confines of the squared circle. However, of course, these two men have a bit of a similarity, you could say, as these two over the past few episodes have gone toe-to-toe individually with the current Intercontinental Champion, Drew McIntyre. Now, on the last episode, it was Drew McIntyre versus Ricochet, a battle of strength versus speed, and Ricochet could not outrun the Scottish psychopath in that bout. Whereas Finn Balor, on the other hand, he beat Drew McIntyre in their last matchup to main event SmackDown a few episodes ago. A matchup, mind you, that was very important for this man, the leader of the club, Finn Balor. And the reason why is because if Finn Balor were to win that matchup, which of course he did, he would be getting an opportunity at facing Drew McIntyre once again at the King of the Ring event for the Intercontinental Championship. And, well, the match has been signed and sealed, and I can't wait to see what happens as Finn Balor and Drew McIntyre look to battle at the King of the Ring event. However, right now, Finn Balor, he has to turn his attention over to a very different opponent, a very different kind of competitor. Some would argue he is the one and only Ricochet. Okay, these two, I would argue, a bit more similar in size and stature than Drew McIntyre and Ricochet were. Okay, Ricochet and Finn Balor, they have a fairly similar moveset, very similar attributes. However, when it comes to the speed and agility department, Ricochet, he beats Finn Balor handily. Finn Balor, however, I would argue a bit more of a technical competitor. Finn Balor, in my opinion, if he were to defeat this man Ricochet, well then he has to keep him down to the mat. Whereas Ricochet, he needs to keep on moving as he looks to move up the ladder of success here on SmackDown. And ladies and gentlemen, I just want to preface this by saying, what a way to kick off this massive episode of SmackDown. Okay, Finn Balor, a former world champion, a former universal champion. Ricochet, in my opinion, could end up becoming a future top champion if he plays his cards right. And perhaps a victory over Finn Balor tonight could land him in the title hunt in the future. However, right now, Finn Balor is not looking to give Ricochet that oh-so-important victory, as Balor understands that he needs an oh-so-important victory in his own right here against Ricochet. Finn Balor, he wants to build that momentum leading into the King of the Ring event. Ricochet, he wants to once again showcase to the world why he is SmackDown's newest rising star, as he goes for a massive wheel kick, a massive pump kick right out of the gate. However, right now already, these two going back and forth. And wait a second, Finn Balor, 1, No, only a 1 count, trying to get a quick victory here against the quick speedster known as Ricochet. As Ricochet and Finn Balor once again with a bit of a stare down here. Kicking off SmackDown, kicking off what should be an exciting episode, as I've mentioned already. As these two lock eyes here tonight, but now it's Finn Balor with a massive discus forearm strike, taking down Ricochet, or at least taking him off his game. However, Ricochet right now, he's played that game before, and he's looking to master it. But Finn Balor, 1, 2. No, and only a 2 count, trying to keep Ricochet from gaining any more momentum here in this matchup. As Finn Balor once again stares down at Ricochet. He's the leader of the club, and there you see the universal sign of the club, the 2 sweet hand gesture. However, right now, as Finn Balor looks off, looking down at Ricochet, looking at the referee who stopped him from going after him, Ricochet enters the ring, and now perhaps looking to, trade hands in his own right here, except, of course, not hand gestures like the 2 sweet, but instead, brutal fists, as Finn Balor strikes Ricochet down with a massive dropkick. As now, once again, Ricochet tries to escape the ring, and Finn Balor, this sick and twisted competitor, the leader of the club, Finn Balor, this brutal competitor, Finn Balor, looking to utilize his environment as he takes Ricochet down the lower spine, connecting with the barricade before the sharp knee of Finn Balor connects with the jaw of Ricochet. And again, it's Ricochet who gets sent into the barricade. As Finn Balor now going for the pinfall predicament here. 1, 2. No, and only a 2 count once again. Ricochet getting the shoulder up just barely, perhaps, following that utilization of the barricade, as Ricochet immediately gets up, goes for a DDT, but Finn Balor stops him dead in his tracks, and he hits him with a massive punch right to the jaw. And the crowd, ladies and gentlemen, watching on as Finn Balor stomps the chest of Ricochet. And as you can hear, some people chanting for Finn, some people in support of Finn Balor, some people see Finn Balor as, well, as one of those incredibly cool and interesting competitors. I don't necessarily agree with that. I will say that he is perhaps one of the best in-ring competitors technically, here on SmackDown. However, Finn Balor, I do not agree with his attitude. I do not agree with this mantra of the club to take cheap shots, to do all of this nonsensical maneuvering. Using your environment to your advantage is one thing. However, utilizing weapons to earn yourself victories, utilizing all of these different tactics. And sure, they may be some of the best competitors here on SmackDown. AJ Styles, Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, and Finn Balor. However, the disrespect that they show here on SmackDown by doing things like that, while Finn Balor could be continuing the offense, he instead decides to stroke his own ego. Instead, Finn Balor, however, perhaps looking to get taken down by Ricochet, and once again goes for a pump kick, and instead gets caught there, Finn Balor. And then again, with that universal sign of the club, the 2 sweet, once again trying to mock Ricochet. Once again, trying to showcase some disrespect as Ricochet gets back to his feet fairly quickly, trying to fight back here against Finn Balor, the disrespectful Finn Balor, ducking underneath, and Ricochet now taking down Balor, and a massive dropkick there, and perhaps Ricochet is feeling the adrenaline as he goes for the cover here. 1, 2, no, and only a 2 count. Oh no, wait a second, Finn Balor once again gets back to his feet, following perhaps a comeback sequence by Ricochet, who's trying to build himself up once again as he hits him there with a massive punch. And now he's got a fireman's carry position. Oh, and Finn Balor, look at that! Ricochet, obviously the more agile of the two, but Finn Balor is showcasing that he has some agility in his own right. Flipping out of the fireman's carry position, and then a punch to the face, as Balor now sends Ricochet face first into the turnbuckle. And now the cover here. 1, 2. No, and only a 2 count again. And once again, Ricochet just barely getting the shoulder up. As Balor now, with a massive chop in there. You see another chop in response by Ricochet. Oh, God, before getting taken down there face first. And the crowd, ladies and gentlemen, watching on as Finn Balor, wait a second. Well, as Finn Balor continues the onslaught, it seems as though the Intercontinental Champion is here. The man who Finn Balor will be competing against at the King of the Ring event, Drew McIntyre, is here. And Finn Balor now, perhaps a bit distracted by the presence of the Scottish psychopath in the Intercontinental Champion, and the crowd watching on, ladies and gentlemen, watching as Drew McIntyre gets an up-close look at Balor. 1, 2, no, and again only a 2 count. Ricochet finding the strength to throw Finn Balor off as Drew McIntyre, a man who utilizes his own strength and power to dish out so much punishment here on SmackDown, has decided to get an up-close look at these two competitors here, with Drew McIntyre watching on as Finn Balor charges towards Ricochet, who moves out of the way, throwing him into the corner now, and then a massive kick to the stomach and another one for good measure, and Ricochet now perhaps trying to find that desperate need, that comeback within him, trying to find, ladies and gentlemen, that massive maneuver that could put away Finn Balor as he connects with the single knee facebuster. But there you see Ricochet. He's taken so much punishment. He's so exhausted that it's slow for him to get back to his feet. As both men are down, Ricochet finally gets back to his feet. And perhaps now, this is Ricochet's chance, as he stomps right on the chest of Balor here, and a Phoenix Splash from the middle turnbuckle, making it look so damn easy. 2. No, and only a 2 count, however, making a victory over Finn Balor look even more difficult than a Phoenix Splash attempt. But that just shows you how talented Ricochet is, and how much Finn Balor desperately wants to earn himself a victory. However, as Ricochet waits for him to get up, he goes for a running kick again, and once again, Balor moves out of the way. Ricochet unable to hit that maneuver even once during this matchup. However, Finn Balor trying to land a series of strikes in his own right, but Ricochet giving him a bit more there, ladies and gentlemen. Giving some receipts before finally hitting that bicycle pump kick, as Ricochet looks down at Finn Balor. 450 splash. 1, 2. No, and only a 2 count again. 450 splash springboard connection. However, the connection of a third smack of the hand by the referee was unaccounted for, as it did not exist. However, right now, it's Ricochet who is looking up at the lights as Finn Balor stares down at Drew McIntyre following a massive dropkick, sending Ricochet into those turnbuckles there with such force, such impact, that I'm surprised Ricochet doesn't seem to be completely knocked out at all. As Balor now, looking to utilize those well-educated feet. However, once again, he's set up there in picture-perfect fireman's carry position before being taken down with a massive boot to the side of the skull. As Drew McIntyre watches on, the Intercontinental Champion looking down at his challenger, who takes a 630 senton. 2, 3, and Ricochet, just like that, gets the job done. My God. Okay, you have to applaud Finn Balor at least. Okay, even though it may pain me to say that, Finn Balor, for the most part during this matchup, was absolutely laying waste to Ricochet. However, the moment Drew McIntyre came out is the moment Ricochet capitalized and started to finally make his comeback. And now, it's Drew McIntyre, the Intercontinental Champion, who has decided to take a closer look at his future challenger and Finn Balor, who is too busy looking up at the lights right now to pay attention to what exactly is what exactly is happening. Wait a second, AJ Styles? AJ Styles, what the hell? And Styles with the Styles Clash on McIntyre. Come on. I mean, of course, AJ Styles, another member of the club, Finn Balor, the leader of the club. And I'm not entirely sure why AJ Styles just did that, but I guarantee you that it was unwarranted. As Balor, oh come on. Oh come on, we've seen this kind of activity before in the club with this constant disrespect. And these constant attacks. We saw it with Gallows and Anderson a few episodes ago, and now we're seeing it with Balor and Styles. As AJ and Balor decide to attack the Intercontinental Champion in Drew McIntyre. Well, after that unwarranted, unneeded attack, in my opinion, by, of course, Finn Balor and AJ Styles, it seems as though Samoa Joe has decided to tell the world his own motivations as to why he decided to attack Ricochet on the last episode of SmackDown, and a part of me kind of understands where he's coming from, okay? I'm not the biggest fan of Samoa Joe, okay? In ring, I think he's an incredible competitor. However, sometimes I'm not a particularly big fan of his own attitude. But it seems as though Samoa Joe has decided that he wants to prove something to the world. Just like how Heath Slater wants to prove to the world that he can defeat a top Hall of Fame athlete in the Rated R Superstar. Okay, this is the SmackDown General Manager, Edge, versus Heath Slater. Okay, this is Edge's first match on SmackDown in over a decade, and now he's going to be competing against Heath freaking Slater. Now, I will admit, that's a very... I was going to say that's a very odd choice of opponent if you're new around here. Oh, God, but EC3 has decided to attack Edge, and if you're new around here indeed, well, then you already know exactly how EC3 likes to deal with people that he deems as a problem. Come on! This is absolutely unnecessary. It's a night full of unnecessary attacks, I guess, as EC3 is now dragging the lifeless body of Edge. This is Edge's first match on SmackDown in at least a decade, and you're telling me that this is how this is gonna happen? This is how we're going along with this? Heath Slater and EC3, obviously, over the past few episodes out of the past few weeks, they have shown the world their true colors. They have formed this bond, this partnership, and it seems as though Heath Slater is now about to earn himself an easy victory after a powerbomb through a table backstage. 1, 2... No, wait a second! Edge just barely getting the shoulder up! EC3 apparently attacking Edge with a steel chair, slamming him through a table onto the concrete floor backstage, and Heath Slater is in shock and in disbelief that Edge just kicked out. Okay, perhaps we're about to have one of the shortest matches on SmackDown history, but Edge says otherwise! Massive big boot! He goes for another kick! Oh, but he gets taken down by Heath Slater. And Slater now, oh, there you can see the fury stomping away on the chest, going for another pinfall attempt. 1, 2... No, and again, only a 2 count. Edge! Like I said, it's his first match on SmackDown in a very, very long time. And it seems as though now Edge, oh wait a second, Edge gets back to his feet and charges towards him, oh my god! And Edge takes him down, face first goes Slater! Okay, I've always been a big fan of the Rated R Superstar, and you're seeing why! He's the ultimate opportunist indeed! However, right now he's picking his opportunity to get some revenge on Heath Slater. All the constant interruptions, the trash talking by Heath Slater, and now Edge is looking to make him pay for it. And Slater now with a punch, but no, instead he hits him there with a massive blow right to the side of the skull, right to the jaw. And Edge now takes down Heath Slater. He's got something in mind perhaps, goes for another strike. This is now a back and forth fight between Edge and Heath Slater. Okay, it's like a match from 2011 brought here to a decade later. However, right now, Edge, looks to continue on with this matchup, trying to fight back. He goes for a kick to Slater, but instead he gets met with a massive forearm right to the jaw. Goes for another punch. However, there you see a punch in response, and another one. Another strike by Edge, as now Edge is now fighting for his life, perhaps, following that attack backstage. EC3 watching on. Heath Slater, perhaps, getting a bit too caught up in his own ego as he gets caught up there in an execution. And Edge now, he's got him set up. He's in the corner. He's desperately waiting for the spear, but no. Edge desperately charging towards Heath Slater, and Slater catches him with a knee. As Slater pulls Edge into the middle of the ring, just for everybody to get a better look as a massive DDT connects. 2, 3... Like, we already didn't see one disappointing attack earlier on with Balor and Styles. Now we get another one with Slater and EC3, and obviously, I'm a big fan of Edge. Okay, I'm a big fan of McIntyre like earlier on. I'm a big fan of a lot of these competitors, but I am not a fan of this disrespect by Heath Slater and EC3. This constant disrespect by Slater and EC3 that we've seen over the past few episodes here on SmackDown. They have been running roughshod. And now, it seems as though not even Edge can stop him. However, perhaps this man can, the WWE Champion, Aleister Black, who decided to tweet out earlier today in regards to his little back and forth with Abby, representing, of course, The Fiend. As Aleister Black tweeted out, quote, "I promised the world that I will protect WWE, even if that means I'm fighting against the odds. The Fiend wants my attention? You've got it. At King of the Ring, I will do what nobody else has been able to do. I will make you fade to black." And well, even though I'm a big fan of Aleister Black, even though I love Aleister Black as an in-ring competitor, I do wholeheartedly believe that he is in all honesty, perhaps the top guy here on SmackDown, I can't say that I necessarily agree with him. I can't say that I necessarily support this idea. Aleister Black, by all accounts, he wants to become the new Phenom of the WWE. He wants to become the protector of WWE. In all accounts, he wants to become the next Undertaker here in the WWE. However, in order to do that, he wants to go up against the monster. Not the man, but the monster that demolished the Undertaker at WrestleMania. So, Aleister Black, if he thinks he can do it, then, well, I'll be here, ready to commentate, ready to watch as a bystander. However, I hope he understands that this matchup will either be one of the biggest underdog victories that we've ever seen here in the WWE, or that matchup will be a slaughter. Either way, though, I want to turn your attention now from the WWE Championship picture to the SmackDown Women's title, as this next matchup is all about that. It's about the SmackDown Women's Championship, as Candice LeRae looks to challenge this woman right here, Alexa Bliss, for that oh-so-prestigious championship that's wrapped around her waist. Of course, Candice LeRae recently won a #1 contenders matchup against Shayna Baszler in order to earn herself a shot at the SmackDown Women's title. A date with destiny, you could say. Will Candice LeRae be able to do it? Will she be able to finally rip that title out of the clutches of Alexa Bliss? Or will Bliss, just like with every other matchup before, will she be able to once again bob and weave? Will she be able to buy her time? Will she be able to somehow steal another victory and retain the championship? As Candice LeRae looks down at the title, the referee, our official, holds it up. It's about the championship. The most prestigious title here for any female combatant on the blue brand, and the bell has rung. It's Candice LeRae staring right into the eyes of Alexa Bliss, as Bliss stares right into the eyes of her challenger. Candice LeRae standing in the middle of the ring, Mickie James watching on the outside, of course, in support of her best friend, Bliss, who is, interestingly perhaps, deciding to play some mind games as Candice LeRae stands in the middle of the ring, almost coldly staring at Bliss, and perhaps Bliss has decided to take a moment for herself. Of course, the referee counting. We've got the champion's advantage rule in effect here in the WWE. If this match ends in via disqualification or countouts, then Alexa Bliss automatically retains that championship. Bliss knows that. However, it seems as though right now she's just trying to play with her opponent psychologically. She is now trying to pick apart the mind here of Candice LeRae. However, it seems as though those mind games have no effect when your skull gets driven into the mat. And here we go. Candice LeRae finally getting in some offense here with the forearms over and over again, sending Alexa into the corner, as now she's got her here with a massive DDT. Of course, we've seen over the past few episodes here on SmackDown, she has utilized that DDT to great effect. 1, 2, no, only a 2 count. Okay, Candice LeRae trying to associate herself with the DDT like Jake the Snake Roberts, but it seems now that it's Alexa Bliss who slithers out of the ring, trying to once again create some separation between herself and the challenger. And Candice LeRae looks down at Alexa Bliss. Candice LeRae, of course, in my opinion, is an incredible competitor. And if she were to somehow win that championship, well, then I can only assume that that reign by Candice would be incredible as well. As now, once again, she's challenging Alexa Bliss now. Perhaps the mind games are being played by none other than Candice LeRae, as Bliss walks back into the ring. Oh, and there you see a massive kick to the gut. And now a few forearms, a few strikes here, punching her right in the face. Oh, wait a second. And now perhaps going for a pinfall victory here. 1, 2. No, and only a 2 count. Okay, like Candice LeRae in that #1 contenders match, it's Alexa Bliss trying to earn herself a victory with a roll-up pinfall attempt. However, this time, Candice LeRae kicks out, and the match continues. As Alexa Bliss gets sent into the corner, Candice LeRae charges towards her, but Bliss now goes for another kick, and now it seems as though this matchup is going back and forth here. Champion and challenger, with Bliss not looking too good, getting taken off her feet. Mickie James watching on. 1, 2. No, and only a 2 count, just barely getting the shoulder up. As Candice waits for her to get up here. Her opponent now, the champion, running away once again. As Candice, the challenger, stares down at Alexa Bliss, who again has decided to talk a bit more trash here once again, creating separation between herself and Candice LeRae. As Candice apparently has decided to just go to the outside. She's sick and tired of this constant separation between herself and the champion. The count of 4 by the referee, as right now Candice LeRae is only concerned about the 1, 2, 3. However, she has to bring, as you see, Alexa Bliss back into the ring, and she does so successfully. As Candice now, a springboard. Oh my god, oh my god! Into a backwards Hurricane Rana, spiking her on the top of her head. Her entire body crashing out onto the neck. This is for the SmackDown Women's title, folks. As now these two women are looking to showcase to the world why they are two of the top competitors here on SmackDown in that women's division. As Bliss now takes a massive knee right to the face. And the cover now. 1, 2. No, and only a 2 count. Alexa Bliss once again kicking out, desperately trying to retain her championship. Candice LeRae, however, as you can see, looks down at Bliss, waiting for her to get up. She knows that she has to dish out even more punishment in order to take home the gold here on this massive episode of SmackDown. Okay, of course, still to come, Seth Rollins will be making his return here following a bit of a hiatus, a bit of a break, a bit of a vacation, if you will. Following, his loss to Adam Cole at WrestleMania and his repeated losses, as right now, it seems as though Candice LeRae, Candice LeRae is more focused on a victory here against Alexa Bliss, and it seems as though Candice, wait a second, Candice now, in a predicament here, going for a cover once again. 1, 2, no, and only a 2 count, once again going for a bit of a roll-up pinfall attempt. Does Alexa Bliss. However, once again, it's Candice LeRae who kicks out, getting the shoulder up. However, now she sits up only to take a massive shot to the face. And now another one for good measure, and it now seems as though Alexa Bliss finally has taken control of this matchup, going for a pinfall attempt. 1, 2. No, and only a 2 count once again. Alexa Bliss looks down at her challenger as she tries to retain the championship. As now she rolls her into the middle of the ring, kicking her right in the stomach before another kick right to the face. And Alexa Bliss, ladies and gentlemen, has definitely swung the pendulum of momentum here in this matchup. 1, 2. No, and only a 2 count. Okay, swinging the pendulum of momentum, as I said, and perhaps look to conclude this matchup off here with a massive, twisted Bliss. But as you just saw, Candice LeRae getting the shoulder up. Okay, she has so much skill, she has so much talent, does Candice LeRae. However, you are watching here tonight as she looks to perhaps showcase to the world that she also has a lot of heart as she connects. 1, 2, and another 2 count. Candice LeRae, there you see, trying to earn another victory here via a roll-up pinfall, but now perhaps looking to earn a victory. 1, 2, no, and only a 2 count. using that move, the Lion Salt, made popular, of course, by the former NXT General Manager in Y2J, Chris Jericho. But Candice is not worried about the legacy of Jericho. She's worried about the legacy of herself, looking to leave here as the champion. However, right now, the current champion, Alexa Bliss, not giving her the satisfaction of a victory, at least not yet anyways, as she strikes back hard. And now, oh wait a second, she goes up to the top, does Alexa. And once again, she gets caught there, she gets stopped. There's no, oh wait a second. Wait a second, connecting with a neck breaker! A massive neck breaker by Candice LeRae, off the top, going for the cover now. 1, 2, no, and only a 2 count. And in the SmackDown Women's title matchup, ladies and gentlemen, I will say, both the challenger and champion are going back and forth here. And oh, wait a second, Candice out of nowhere, She's got her here in the Gargano escape. Do we have a new champion? Candice LeRae, trying to tap out Alexa, but Bliss gets out of it. Bliss fighting with everything within her. Bliss fighting with everything in her arsenal in order to retain that SmackDown Women's title. But Candice LeRae, perhaps here tonight, will somehow be able to take that title away from her. She hit her with a Gargano escape. She's hit her with so much incredible offense here. And oh, wait a second. Seems as though that offense doesn't matter, as Mickie James has decided. Oh, wait a second! Mickie James! 1, 2, no, and only a 2 count. Mickie James trying to distract Candice LeRae, but instead gets knocked off the apron as Alexa Bliss driving her into the mat with a DDT. 1, 2, 3, and Alexa retains the SmackDown Women's Championship. However, ladies and gentlemen, you have to applaud none other than Candice LeRae here tonight. Okay, in fact, both women, I would argue, putting on a fairly interesting display of offense. Okay, Alexa Bliss perhaps showing her more cowardly tendencies throughout the match, but I will say this, no matter what, she did fight back. She hit the Twisted Bliss, she hit the DDT, and she heard the count of the referee. 1, 2, 3. She is still the champion for a reason here, as she defeats Candice LeRae. Okay, Candice put on a hell of a performance, showing off her agility, showing off her technical offense, trying to tap her out, hitting her with everything in her arsenal. But Alexa Bliss, perhaps showcasing to the world that she should not be overlooked as the champion. Perhaps showcasing to the world why she is the SmackDown Women's Champion, as she once again holds on to that championship. Wait, wait. Oh my God! Ladies and gentlemen, coming out of South Australia, the woman who took NXT by storm in its dying days, the woman who almost ended the undefeated streak of Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley is here! Rhea Ripley is here on SmackDown, and she's immediately locking eyes with the champion. And you can hear the crowd chanting. Okay, I do not need to repeat what they're saying, because you can probably hear the excitement and shock in my voice as she immediately points at the champion. Rhea Ripley, if you've never seen her before, you've never seen anybody like her. And I know that I say that about a lot of competitors, but Rhea Ripley, in my opinion, is very different. As Mickie James and Alexa Bliss don't necessarily know what to make of this. They can't make heads or tails of this. And Rhea Ripley now realizes that she is outnumbered here. But it seems as though she's not backing down. Ducking underneath the clothesline by Mickie James. And the veteran gets taken down with the Riptide. Rhea Ripley with the Riptide. Putting on standout performances down in NXT before its dying days. And now she's looking across the ring once again. And once again, not breaking eye contact, staring at the champion. Who once again showcases those, as I mentioned earlier, cowardly tendencies. But sure, fine, she just had a matchup. Okay, sure. Alexa Bliss, she doesn't necessarily need to prove anything. She's the SmackDown Women's Champion. But it seems as though Rhea Ripley just proved to Alexa Bliss why she should be scared. As Ripley makes a shocking debut, just dumping Mickie James to the outside. A former champion in her own right, as now Rhea Ripley is here on SmackDown. And Alexa Bliss continues to stare up at Rhea Ripley, who's almost challenging her to get back in the ring. Rhea Ripley is here on SmackDown. Well, it seems as though on the next episode of SmackDown, I guess the Rated R Superstar will have something to say. That is, in regards of the Tag Team Division and the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. However, right now, I want to turn your attention to that man. The returning Seth Rollins. Okay, we have not seen Seth Rollins in quite some time here on SmackDown. Okay, he was drafted over following his massive loss at WrestleMania to Adam Cole. And then, Seth Rollins, following that loss, he suffered a few more losses. Okay, Seth Rollins, it was obvious that he wasn't feeling himself. Okay, he walked into work every day, he walked in to that ring every day, and he did not look like he was enjoying himself in the slightest. Okay, some would argue that perhaps he may be going through a bit of depression, maybe. However, ladies and gentlemen, Seth Rollins, he took a vacation, he took a well-earned break, and Seth, following his loss, following all the other massive failures here on SmackDown, he is now back. So the question is, while Seth Rollins walks into that ring, the ring that he used to call his home and perhaps still does call his home, as this crowd watches on in full support, what exactly does Seth Rollins have to say? I mean, Seth's professional hardships have obviously been made very public, as I mentioned a few moments ago after his loss to Adam Cole. Well, Seth Rollins, ladies and gentlemen, he says he's back, and he's back better than ever. The old Seth Rollins apparently is now gone, as he's here to conquer SmackDown. And will he be able to do it? As he looks to conquer Aleister Black, our WWE Champion, on the next episode of SmackDown. Seth Rollins, ladies and gentlemen, a massive announcement, a massive return, and I can't wait to see what happens. However, now, ladies and gentlemen, before we get into our main event of the evening, and believe me, it's going to be a hell of a fight, I want to turn your attention to what's going to be happening on the next episode of SmackDown, following so much action, so many surprises, so much non-stop enjoyment here on this episode. On the next episode, Edge will have something to say and an announcement regarding the SmackDown Tag Team titles. But that's not all, as of course, on the next episode, as Seth Rollins just mentioned, he will be going up against Aleister Black in what should be a hell of a fight. It could main event any single pay-per-view, but instead, it's main eventing SmackDown, because that's just how incredible SmackDown truly is with this undeniably fantastic roster. And speaking of undeniably fantastic competitors, let me turn your attention over to the first of two who will be featuring in our main event. This is Andrade Cien Almas. Okay, and even though I may not necessarily love his attitude, even though I may not necessarily love some of his tactics, I will say that Andrade is without a doubt one of the best we have here on SmackDown. Okay, from bell to bell, in ring, technically, he is incredible. And I can't wait to see if Andrade, the first ever NXT champion here in WWE, if Andrade Cien Almas can defeat the WWE champion. He has the potential to become a top star here in the WWE. He has the potential to become WWE's next top Spanish-speaking competitor. And tonight could start that journey of success. Okay, Andrade, he has been seemingly unstoppable here. Sure, he suffered a few massive losses against the likes of Drew McIntyre in a few matches over the Intercontinental Championship. But in every single matchup, Andrade Cien Almas, in my opinion, has definitely displayed what makes Andrade Cien Almas so special. Just like how his opponent tonight, Aleister Black, is so incredibly special. Okay, both men, as they look to compete here tonight in this main event, they have fairly similar attributes. They both can fly around the ring with their incredible agility. They are, of course, expert strikers, using their knees and elbows and forearms and punches to destroy their opponents. And, just to add to that, whenever they want to, they will lock up with you. Because they have an excellent technical side to their offense. Aleister Black, he wants to become the next phenom here in the WWE. And with his incredible skill set, I believe he can do just that. Andrade Cien Almas, with his incredible skill set, I believe he could defeat the WWE Champion, Aleister Black, here tonight. This is a main event of the evening. Quite like Aleister Black versus Seth Rollins, Aleister Black versus Andrade Cien Almas is a matchup that could feature in the main event slot of any single pay-per-view event, and we're getting it as the main event tonight. However, speaking of pay-per-views, the King of the Ring event will feature a match between this man, Aleister Black, and this monster in The Fiend. Okay, I talked about it earlier, following the announcement of the match over on Twitter, where Aleister Black, he basically said, hey, The Fiend is a monster, sure, but I want the fight. I want a match. He wants to become the protector of WWE. Well, then he may be going up against WWE's darkest force to date in The Fiend at the King of the Ring event. And it's all for the WWE title. I'm going to repeat what I said earlier. That matchup will either feature an incredible underdog performance from Aleister Black as he walks in the champion, or it will be a slaughter as The Fiend decimates Aleister Black like he did with The Undertaker. But right now, Aleister cannot focus on The Fiend. He has to focus on Andrade. And the bell rings, and we get into it. Andrade with the bright white pants, as Aleister Black, quite like his last name would suggest, with the dark black attire here. And now here we go, immediately locking up. Okay, I hope you guys are strapped in. I hope you've got your popcorn. I hope you're ready to go. Because this, ladies and gentlemen, is the main event, and this should be a hell of a contest as Andrade takes down Aleister Black. Okay, it's been a night full of surprises. Rhea Ripley deciding to walk out here and make her presence known for the first time here on SmackDown. And I have been told, ladies and gentlemen, that she will be a featured act here on SmackDown. She has signed the dotted line. Okay, not only that, but Seth Rollins making his return. Heath Slater defeating the returning Edge. Finn Balor losing to Ricochet. And now it's Aleister Black versus Andrade. It's been a night full of non-stop surprises, full of non-stop action, and this is the main event. As now these two, once again, are going back and forth here, fairly even. However, I will say this, Andrade perhaps having a bit of a technical advantage walking into this one. Aleister, much more known for his striking game, even though Andrade is no slouch in that department either. He hits him with a punch in the face just to prove that point indeed, as he has him here. And he, disrespectfully almost, slams him face first into the mat as Zelina Vega watches on the outside. This is the blue brand here. This is the main event. And the WWE Champion with a massive knee strike and immediately showcasing that perhaps he has the striking advantage with those kicks, those knees, those elbows being proven to be absolutely devastating for any opponent as Andrade Cien Almas now goes to take down Aleister Black. However, Black right now, here we go, connecting with a few kicks indeed. Aleister Black, now there you see, running with the knee right to the skull. Not quite the double knees that Andrade is used to. However, ladies and gentlemen, Aleister Black now trying to play mind games here after perhaps rattling the brain of Andrade Cien Almas. Following all those, devastating strikes. However, there you see another devastating strike by Andrade Cien Almas. However, it's Aleister Black who gets taken down with a back suplex. Zelina Vega, like I mentioned earlier, watching on the outside, getting a close look at the WWE Champion, wondering what to do. You gotta think that she told Andrade Cien Almas exactly what to do. Telling him a strategy, teaching him a strategy, in order to perhaps earn himself a victory here against none other than the WWE Champion. No, and only a 2 count following a massive DDT as you just saw the neck crunching. However, right now, it's Andrade Cien Almas who charges towards him with a massive forearm, connecting hard right in the jaw of the WWE Champion. He is the top champion here. However, there you see, he connects there with a massive kick to the face, and then a knee to the jaw once again. And Aleister Black looks down at Andrade, who, in my opinion, could end up becoming a future challenger if everything goes according to plan. 2? No, and only a 2 count. However, Aleister Black has got plans of his own. He plans on earning himself a victory here in this main event. He plans on going on to defeat The Fiend at the King of the Ring event. And he plans, ladies and gentlemen, on becoming a top legendary competitor, quite like, his former rival, The Undertaker. And I do not mean to always talk about The Undertaker when you talk about Aleister Black, or when I talk about Aleister Black. However, ladies and gentlemen, the history is undeniable. They have been linked to each other. However, now that Taker's gone, 1, 2, no, and only a 2 count. Aleister Black must, well, he must try and create his own legacy. Okay, no longer relying on these victories over The Undertaker. No longer relying on these legendary performances against the legend in the Dead Man. Now, he's got to focus on earning himself some victories, like he did at the Money in the Bank event against Gargano. However, right now, it's Andrade Cien Almas who looks to earn himself a victory! Massive double knees to the face! As Andrade goes up to the top here, and it seems as though he's got something in mind! Picture perfect moonsault! And the cover now, 1, 2, no, and again only a 2 count. Of course, Andrade Cien Almas, he looks down at Aleister Black because he understands that he will be, a difficult opponent indeed, and he has been thus far. Of course, Andrade Cien Almas, however, he's also looking towards the future as he continues with these non-stop strikes here. However, now he's looking to wear down Black with a bit of a headlock. Of course, Andrade, on the next episode of SmackDown, he will be competing against Big E as the King of the Ring tournament continues. Will it be Big E or Andrade Cien Almas versus Johnny Gargano at the King of the Ring event? We're going to have to find out on the next episode. However, right now it's Andrade, with a massive knee strike right to the stomach of Aleister. Zelina Vega watching on, of course, the manager of Andrade here, the same Andrade who gets taken off his feet. As Aleister waits for him to get up. And he connects now with the Irish Whip, sending him into the corner, but once again, nobody home. And now, once again, those forearms get driven into the face of the champion. However, of course, this is a non-title matchup. Andrade is not the challenger here. However, it's Andrade who looks to challenge. 1, 2, no, and only a 2 count. Looks to challenge the perception of the WWE fanbase that perhaps think that Aleister Black can, defeat Andrade Cien Almas, as Andrade looks to showcase to the world that he can't. However, Aleister Black, he wants to prove those fans right, as he goes for a Black Mass out of nowhere, but instead gets met with those massive forearms, and another forearm for good measure, right in the corner, and now the punch is connecting, and I will say this, Andrade Cien Almas has definitely impressed me thus far in this matchup. With this non-stop flurry of offense like the double knees again. Right into the corner. Right into the skull. Right into Aleister. 1, 2. No, and again, only a 2 count. Again, only a 2 count. As Aleister gets back to his feet. He goes for another strike, but instead, once again, gets caught. With a strike to the stomach. With a strike to the gut. However, there you see, he trips up Andrade, who goes for a kick. But now he goes, there you see, with the clothesline attempt, and now the combination by Aleister Black, taking down Andrade, who rolls to the outside here, perhaps trying to find some breathing room. Or perhaps not, perhaps baiting him there, perhaps playing possum, going for a pinfall attempt. 1, 2. No, and only a 2 count. As Andrade now, following a massive pinfall attempt, trying desperately to earn himself a victory. Wait a second. Arm trap DDT! 1, 2! No, and only a 2 count again! Andrade trying to steal the victory with the roll-up pinfall attempt. Only a 2 count. Andrade trying to earn that victory with an arm trap DDT. Only a 2 count. As Andrade charges towards him, and now, out of pure frustration, takes him down with a devastating lariat. And now a few strikes there, a few punches. And Andrade seeing all this. Oh, well, there you see the anger. And now the ego. As, oh, wait a second. Aleister Black now. Perhaps looking to make him pay for having such a massive ego. Taunting the crowd. And now getting taken down. And the WWE Champion. Perhaps looking to fight back here. He's got him in the corner. As now from the opposing corner, it's Aleister Black, who waits for him to get up, charging towards him, but nobody home. Oh, however, there you see, as Aleister is trying to make a bit of a comeback here. Oh my God, connects! Out of nowhere, Black Mass! 1, 2, no, and again! Again, only a 2 count. Zelina Vega, almost terrified. Her face just showcasing nothing but worry, nothing but concern, following that massive black mass. And Aleister almost can't believe that Andrade kicked out. Both men hitting each other with their best maneuver, and both men kicking out here in this main event on SmackDown. Oh, and there you see Andrade with the first strike, and now challenging Aleister to strike him back. And perhaps now these two men have something to prove. And there you see a knee strike by Andrade before getting punched in the face by Aleister. And now here we go. These two are exhausted. These two are fighting back here. These two are going strike for strike, blow for blow. Oh, as a kick connects right to the gut. And perhaps Aleister Black, oh my God. We've seen it before, but it always looks so devastating. Aleister Black now feeling it here. Aleister Black now looking down at Andrade. Okay, almost just stomping Andrade into the ground. Oh, wait a second. He goes for another strike there. He goes for another strike, but Andrade gets out of it. Picture perfect backwards DDT. 2. And a 2 count. Andrade and Aleister have hit each other with everything. Andrade slowly waits for Aleister Black to get back to his feet before using his own well-educated feet to good use. The cartwheel kick, 1, 2, and again only a 2 count. Andrade looking out into the crowd, unbelievable. That is the word I'm going to describe these two men here tonight. Unbelievable, as they are both still fighting, as Aleister Black connects with a forearm. Andrade, a few moments ago, connecting with that kick right to the back of the skull. Okay, I mentioned it before, these two are incredible strikers, as Andrade now takes this opportunity. Oh God. Andrade takes the opportunity to roll to the outside. And perhaps just in time. Aleister Black, what are you doing? Get the hell out of there! And the fiend with the mandible claw on the WWE Champion. And well, there you see Aleister Black is down. And now it seems as though Zelina Vega and the referee are back here. I don't know where they went a few moments ago, but they're back, it seems. And Andrade's seeing Almas. He's looking down at Aleister Black, confused as to what to do with this situation. Kicks him in the stomach. And oh, come on. Andrade now with a brutal arm trap DDT. 1, 2, 3. And Andrade, perhaps with the assist from the Fiend, defeats the WWE Champion. I don't know what to say. Aleister Black, he tweeted it out earlier on today. He wants the match against the Fiend, and perhaps that was the Fiend's response. However, following such an impactful episode of SmackDown, ladies and gentlemen, with so many surprises, some returns, and a debut, and a massive victory for Andrade, I want to thank you all for watching, and I wish you all a good night.